YouTube. So we're going to jump straight back in from last tutorial. We're going to make a back button and then the armor button. So really simple. 0 doesn't need a back button because you can't go back. Number 1 does, so we're going to copy the next button. Change the stage -, and the first one, not screen.width -100 to 30, and we'll change it to back. And that'll work perfectly, so we can go and test that. So you can see, no back button, back button, back button. That's simple. Right, so let's get onto the armor select. So we'll create a new case, 2, break, like so, 1, 2, yep. So we'll add the back and next buttons, because they're going to stay the same throughout all. And we can add the title, because we need the title anyway. Boom. Select your armor, like so. And of course it's spelled wrong, there we go. So, in here is where we type. So the first thing we're going to do is create a new game object. So we're going to go up here, and in game objects we're going to type var spawn places game object, and it'll be an array equals to new game object. Let's think how many body parts we've got. We've got head armor. Let's go and have a look at a script actually, that might be easier. What we got skins. So basically you've got to pick all the places on your character where you want something to spawn. Now for me at the moment I'm just going to do head, just for simple sake, so head. So you're going to put up here in character creation how many places you've got. So I've got head, maximum is going to be 3, so always put it here, otherwise you'll get an error. So spawn places will do that. So what we can do now is at the bottom create a new function called update, which will run every second, you know that. And we're going to type if stage equals 2, so if it equals this one here, so the armor stage, and spawn places, sorry for the sound outside, people's cutting, spawn places 0 equals null. So if the stage equals 2 and the spawn places equals null, so there's nothing in it, print testing, just to see if it works. We need to see. So we'll run that. So you can see nothing, next, nothing, next, testing. Perfect, it works. So that means in here, spawn places is null. That's good. So we can get rid of this. Right, in here what we need to do is type GameObject.find, in fact, spawn places 0 equals GameObject.find, player, head, spawn, like so. Perfect, right? So GameObject finds player, spawn, head and places it in there. So we need to basically put this. What is this? It's an empty GameObject which goes on the character's head. Like so. Place it where you want the head stuff to be. So when I say head stuff, I mean crown, stuff like, you know, head stuff, hats. And then we can rename this to the right one, which is that there. Boom, player head spawn. Now we can stick it inside bip head 1 player thing, so when they move their head, it will move the crown with it. We also need to put gender female out, put it to 000 so it's in the right place. Maybe move her head so she's in the right place, like so. And then what we can do is open her up in her head file, that one, copy the head, put it in head, assign all the prefabs, and like so, boom. Correct, right? So now when it loads on that second stage, it will assign all that. The reason we don't do it off by art is because this one's got it. When we click female, it destroys it and puts it on, so it will lose all that data. And if we click next, it can still go back. So when we click next again, you see it'll assign it now, but it won't sit there going assign, because it doesn't equal null anymore. It's got something. So what we can also do is number 1 equals player back spawn, number 2 equals player body spawn. And then we can quickly assign these, so put these on places. I do suggest you doing it from the start so you don't have to keep editing it, but if you do, hey, you do. So player head spawn, so the body one will go, say, here. I don't know if this will work, we might have to rearrange it. And we will put the body inside the bib. So we need to find the correct one. That'll do, I'll put it right there, underneath spine 2. That's where I'm putting it, you can put it anywhere. So if we were to move spine 2, that one should move it, yep. And then we can do that for the same for the female. And I'm basically going to do this same for both, assign the prefabs, and I'll be get back to you in a minute. So that's done. So we've now assigned it. I got rid of the cape one, I didn't really think that would be suitable. So we can go back, I'll accidentally click Chrome so it's all lagging. And so what I'm going to do is turn this down to size 2 because we don't need it all. Click play, it should assign them both when we get to the correct stage. Boom, go back, female. And the only thing is now it's missing, which is a big issue. So what we can do is go in, and every time we click black, we've basically got to clear this. So we can type function clear places, like so, and we can type for int I for I equals 0, I is less than, and then what we're going to do is actually make this better. So what we can do is turn this into a tool we can use for anything. So clear places, we're going to type in here GameObject, and we'll put R. So it's r.length I++, and then what we can do is, I'll show you this in a minute, but basically every time we call clear places now, we will have to specify a GameObject array, and then it'll clear whatever's in that array. So we can type I equals null. So for each item in it, clear. That's simple. So if we type clear places in this back button here, that means they've gone back, it means they're changing something. So clear places, and then we put a bracket, and then we have to type the array name, spawn places. And we can put that on the other back button in fact we only need it on that one. Yeah. So it'll come down and clear it. That simple. So you can see we shouldn't get any errors. We have an error. The reason is I'm thinking in C# again. It's R:, GameObject array. Like that. I was thinking C# again. My apologies. Now we should have no errors. See, no errors. And you can see it's spawned it, so if we go onto it, and you click next, you can see it assigns it. If we click back, it goes through every single one and clears it. Then what we can do is go back, female, go forward, and then it's selected the correct ones, in which we can go armor. So as you can see, really cool. It works. So let's get moving on to our head armor. So the first thing we're going to do is at the top we're going to create another array, but this time we're not going to set what it is, and we're going to put head armor. Oh, I always spell armor wrong. There we go. Head armor. I believe that's the English way of spelling it, not the American. I don't know. But yeah, so head armor. And then we also need back armor. I should have put cape armor because we've already got capes. But yeah. So we've got those arrays, and now what we can do is actually assign to them. So if we hide this audio source, armor select here, we've actually got it all here. So blank head, we can put on head armor when it shows there. So we can put blank head on it. So a little tip I learnt as well is if you click this little lock button here, it locks it so you can click anything and it doesn't change this. Then what we can do is select all three of them and drag them all in at once. Boom. And then do we have back? Yes we do, we have a cape. Perfect. So we want no cape this first and then we want cape second. Boom. There we go. And unlock it. Boom, and it moves. Perfect. So, we've now got all the armour assigned. Of course we've got all these different ones we can do, but that's for later. So don't worry yourselves right now. So, really simple to do, because if you look at this, we'll choose head. Where's head? Here. All we've got to do is literally spawn it in the correct position. It might sound a bit strange. Look at my bad programming right there. We could have done that in one line. Ugh, awful. But yeah, so that'll work perfect. So we can do it again, right? So we're going to go back to our character creation and we'll scroll down to the correct place here. So the first one, we'll get some room and we'll say, another way to do comments is like that, yeah. And we'll say head armor. And in here we can basically put a label, which will be in pretty much the exact same position of this back button. Actually, not the back button, we'll go this one. Obviously it'll be above it. So here, boom. Yep. There we go. So we need to move it up a little bit, so it needs to be above the taller button. So the taller button is 120, so we'll say 100. It'll say select your head armor. Like so. And in here we can go, paste this down here and we can just put end. Apologies for that, my phone decided to turn off. Yay. So, in here we can put a button again. So select this button. In fact, we can select these buttons. They've already got everything we need. So we can put this here, boom, assign it, blah blah blah. So, next, head, back, previous, I don't know, next, head, previous, head, like so. So you can go back and forth between heads. Now, we want to play the selection clicked every time it's clicked, that's normal. So now, this is where we start programming our heads to spawn. So the first thing we want to do is destroy any heads what currently exist. That's all given. So we're going to type if GameObject.find current head. So if it can find that, then destroy GameObject.find current head. So if it can find it, kill it, basically. Our old one didn't have this if statement, so if we didn't spawn a head, we'd glitch our game. That simple. So we can do this the same for the previous one. Boom. Yes? So now it won't do much, but it'll spawn it. So, the next thing we want to do is spawn, keep track of which head we're on. So what we can do is come back up, and in our integers we can type var, and we'll say spawn, in fact, armor stages. And this will be an int array, and it will equal to how many armors we've got, so 2. New int 2. So we've got 2 different slots of armor, and this is going to keep track of them all. So armor stages 0 would be whatever head is, and back armor would be the normal. So they're all equal to 0 at the moment. So every time we click next on armor stage, here, we basically want to increase that by 1. That's simple, right? So increase it. And of course when we click back we want it to decrease like that. That's very simple. So now we've got a way to keep track of what head we're on. Now, we need to spawn the head basically. And that's really simple, seeing as we've got everything. So I'm going to literally copy this instantiate, because it saves me writing it out again. And I'm going to paste it here, but I'll read it to you as we do. So put it there, under the destroy script, and spawn head. Yep, spawn head next. There we go. So spawn the next head, instantiate equals. Now we need our head's armor, which is, this is going to take me ages to scroll up and down. Head armor, right there. And which head do we want? Well, we want armor stages 0. So 0, 1. We want armor stages head. That's simple, right? And then where's it going to spawn it? It's not going to GameObject.find anything. But instead what we're going to do is change this GameObject here from a GameObject to a transform. And you'll see why in a minute. So we've got a transform for our spawn places, and obviously in our update here we have to change it to .transform now. And what this actually saves us doing is in here, instead of putting transform, we can literally just put, I forgot the name of it, that's how literally it is, spawn places 0. Spawn places 0 is our head, So boom, dot position. So get the transforms dot position and spawn it in the correct rotation. So that's it. Next thing what we got to do is rename it. So spawn head next dot GameObject dot name equals, and now we set it to current head because at the moment it'll be blank head 2 or whatever, blank head clone. So that will click it every time you spawn it. So if we go back and see if we've got any errors, oh look at that glitch. But yeah, let's see. And I see the error we've done. So in here we've got clear places right there. It's asking for a game object, turn it to a transform, and here we'll type .gameObject. So for the array length, array I GameObject equals null. So just change it to a transform. Yeah, that might have been worked better, but don't forget as we go down and we're going to have to clear more arrays. My Unity is glitching badly. But yeah, GameObject is read only. So change that, get rid of the object, so array I equals null, so clear the array basically, that's normal. So we've got this spawning, it'll go tick tick tick. I'm not going to show it yet because we need to rush it, but it does work. You can test it now if you want. Go for it, does it work? Good on you. So the next stage is, above all this, we're going to type if armor stages is less than, not armor stages, my apologies, if, where were we keeping track? Yeah, armor stages 0 is less than, in fact equal to, where is it? Head armor dot length. So if basically when we increase it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if it's less than how many armors we've got, then you can do it. We need it less than or equal to. In fact, not equal to, less than. But if it equals the amount, so say it's 5, we don't want it to spawn anything else because that'll be blank, and that's rubbish. So we can copy all of this and paste into here, like so. Boom, minus minus on the armor stages, and let's see. So what we got? Oh, that's it. Yeah, but what I'm going to do is put this plus plus up the top. So as soon as it starts, it plus pluses it, or minus minuses it. And this will fix a little issue I found in a minute ago. So yeah, that should spawn all the heads now. Not at once, whenever you click a button. So if we go and test it, you should be able to go through it. But there is one glitch I found as well. Don't worry about that for now. Is this head armor shapes, it's just not spawning for some reason, so just change it to 2. I think it's the inspector, I'm not sure, but so we've got an error on line 138, which is right here, and it's saying this already exists, so just change it to pre. So spawn head pre, spawn head. That's one thing I like about C#. You could have done that. It keeps things in brackets, whereas JavaScript doesn't, which is weird. But yeah, so if we click play now, it'll spawn all the head armors when we click next and previous. That's it. It's really good. So female, next, taller, shorter, next. So let's see, next head, previous head, previous head. And there you can see we got an error, 140. It's saying, it can't find, it can't rename it apparently. Okay, so the little glitch there, it didn't fix my suspicion. Paste it back at the bottom, and back at the bottom because it worked. So if it's less than the stage, fine, but this one we need to change. So if armor stages is, because this is going previous, equal to 0, so if it equals 0, in fact if it does not equal 0, do that. If it equals 0, stop, because if it goes less than 0, an array doesn't go less than 0, it'll crash. So if we go back on, hopefully it works this time, hopefully, fingers crossed. Female, next. So now when we go next head, it spawns the blank one. This is what I was trying to fix, but hey. So you can see it's increased armor stage by 1, and spawn places, it's found it all. Head armor, next one should be horned helmet, and then the next one should be that. So you can see it is changing it, star headband, previous, and there we got an array right there, an error I mean. So it's trying to find number 3, so it's increased it when I click previous, and it shouldn't have. So we've got an error. That error was the stupidest error ever. Copy, paste. I apologise for that error, but hopefully it should now work because this is taking 20 minutes. I didn't expect it to. So female, we'll have to try everything. Taller, next, click next head. So that's spawned a blank head, next, there, Okay, so we can fix it, go back, it spawns a blank head, we've still got an error, I'll have to fix that next time. But what I'm going to do before I go is increase the size of these buttons. So select your head, we will make it, instead of 70 across, 100 across. And that's the button, so 100 across again, and then we'll set this to 150. So that should automatically update in a minute. So you can see it now looks right, it's much better. So I am going to have a look why we got the error. We will continue on it next time where we do the cape, and then we'll do something else, and then finally we can do the stats, and then that's the character creation finished. Thank you for watching. Sorry it kept bugging, but I hope you are liking it. Thank you for watching, and I'll